Yeah, the Warriors, it's a hard team to support. They've underachieved quite a lot. So they've missed the finals 8 of the last 9 years, and they've been perennial underachievers. So I think that the new coach Nathan Brown is a good move for the Warriors. He's a good guy who can get a team from sort of like 12th to top 8, top 6. That sort of he can make them that move for them. So that's where the Warriors need to get to is sort of the first phase of their I don't know, their 5 year plan, if you want to call it that. So I think that he's the right coach at this point. I like the new signing. So we've got Eden Funor-Blake from Manly, he was one of the best props in the game last year. Ben Murdoch-Masila, who I haven't seen a lot of. He's been over in the Super League, but apparently he's been killing it over there. Ewan Aitken, who's come over from the Dragons, so they needed a bit more experience in some of the outside backs. They've got a lot of young guys there, so I think he's going to add a lot. Surin as well, who's from the Rabbitohs, and Kane Evans as well, who's come over. So some really good signings. I think they've got a stronger side than we had last year. So I'm really excited. I think that the Warriors will make the top 8. I suppose if I've got a couple of concerns, it's more, we've signed some really big, heavy guys, and these new rules, the game is getting faster and faster. I saw this thing that the Warriors have got the biggest pack in the comp now. So I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It'll be interesting to see how how the opposition teams try and move their forward pack around. One guy I would really hope plays really good is Wade Egan. He needs to be good. We talked earlier about Cameron Smith and how influential the hookers are because they touch the ball the most from dummy half. But the Warriors, they let Nathaniel Roach go, which I suppose they had to. He just had a horror run of injuries. And Carl Lawton, who was the other hooker in the team, he's got a long-term Achilles injury. So I think he might be out for the whole season. I'm not sure, or a big chunk of the season. So Wade Egan is really the only hooker that they've got going there. I know they've got Tevanga on the bench. He'll probably spend some time there, but he's more of a sort of a lock who can fill in at hooker and more of a makeshift option. So I think if Wade Egan goes good, the rest of the team I'm pretty happy with. I think we've got the forwards. You look at Roger and Ken Momalo on that. The backs are good. The halves I'm happy with as well. If Wade Egan can get everything to go together, I think the Warriors will have a really good year. And I think we're going to make sort of the bottom half of the top 8, I'll say.
I was just looking at your interchange bench, and you've got from 15 to 17. You've got Masila, Armel, and a four. That's still like you're talking about size. That's a big bench. You've only got
Yeah.
Jazz Tavanga, and you say you get an injury in the back line. That's probably one of the guys that's going to fit in. So, how
Mm.
do you see that working out? Is there any other guy from 18 to 22? You've got Adam Pompey, Sean O'Sullivan, Tom Ale, and Josh Curran. Is there any other guys we should be looking out for?
Yeah, I think that's sort of part of the reason why they got Ewan Aitken, because those names you mentioned from 18 to 22, they're really young guys. They've got Paul Turner, who had a game last year, he looked really good, but sort of the issue they've got there, a whole lot of their guys coming through are sort of like under sort of 22 and under. So I think they've got a really good starting 17, and if they get some injuries, there could be an issue. One thing I do like is they've moved Tohu Harris to lock. So I think he's a bit more mobile, and because he's played as an edge forward a lot, so he can provide a bit more stability in the middle. If the big guys are getting tired, he can help clean up, similar to what Jake Trebojevic does, that type of role. So I think that's what they're going to use to try to combat that and hopefully battle with fatigue. But it'll be interesting to see if these big guys, the signings that they've got, work out for them or not. That's going to sort of decide the fate of the Warriors. If they're getting run off their feet, it could be another long year for us.
Is there anyone we should look out for? Say, you think Dally M position player of the year? Who's your dark horse? Which one of these guys do you think is going to stand out if they, you know, touch wood, no injuries, and just heaps of time on the field?
Yeah, I suppose the obvious one is Ken Momalo. He was one of the best wingers in the competition, and then he just missed a large chunk once they got based in Australia. So I think he's always been fit. He's always taken care of himself. He plays outside Peter Hiku, who he's had some defensive frailties in the past, but he's really good at setting up his outside back. So Ken Momalo was the top try scorer 1 year playing outside him, and the year before that, David Fusitua was in that conversation. So they
Yeah,
swapped
he
those
was.
two
Yeah.
rings around. So Peter Hiku's really good at setting up players. So I think that left edge is going to be really good for us. Hiku or Mamalo could be in that conversation for um, positional awards.
Sam, is there anyone as a South Sydney supporter, but also a lover of NRL rugby league or just rugby league in general? Is there anyone you are looking forward to, or you hope really does well for the Warriors?
Um, I actually do hope that the Warriors do well this year. I thought with all the new signings that they had, I thought, man, that's massive. You like some powerful runners in there and
Mm,
defensive players, and like having someone like Sirenen from the Bunnies move over to the Warriors. I was really gutted, because man, he did really well, but I think he just it's just someone we had to let go.
mm,
But I was happy he ended up coming to the Warriors. Um, I actually hope they all do well. I would love for them to do well so that Roger can leave, knowing that he's done his part and was successful in what he was hoping to achieve in the Warriors, and to obviously get that ring. But no, yeah, I just hope they all do well. Like especially the halves, because for many years the halves have always been the struggle with the Warriors,
mm,
and I just hope they do well and they rip up.
yep.
Because it'll be nice to see them see. It'd be nice to see and hear the public and commentators say some good things about the Warriors halves.
Shottles,
Yeah.
Royston, what about you, bro? What are you looking forward to as a league fan from the Warriors?
I think the Fords the Fords are gonna go good. Ben Murdoch Masilla. I think for Noah Blake, they're gonna pick the team up and get their team all the way to the try line, and then it'll be up to the flashy backs to finish it. But I think Rogers he's gonna try his hardest this year just to get one for the boys. And yeah, I think Roger will probably have one of the best seasons of his career this year before he leaves.
Yeah,
This
I
year.
think the Warriors, like, they've relied heavily on Roger, David Fusito and Kim Omalo to get the yards. They didn't have that big meter eating prop. So Roger would run for 200 meters from the kick returns, and then Ken Momalo or Peter or David Fusito would take that second hit up. And those two wings were getting about 150 plus meters a game, and that was how they'll generate their forward momentum. But now they've got Funua Blake there, who you've talked about, and Burn Murdoch Masila, and these guys, these genuine go forward guys. Hopefully that relieves some pressure on the back three. So I think that gives us a better all
They'll be more
round
fresh.
game, hopefully.
Mm. Hey, I've got a couple of questions in regards to the Warriors,
Nice,
especially.
nice.
Yep.
I'm just I'm just wondering, like I love the signings, and I thought wow, they're lucky they got some massive forwards. I think Masila, after the way he just ran right into Burgess over in the Super League, and that was like, well, welcome back to Super League for that guy. But
Mm.
and then having Fanor Blake, my thoughts are with the game and the new rules and the speeding up of the game. What are your thoughts with the big boys? Like, would they be able to handle the pace? And that's one question. And the second question is someone like Fanor Blake, who's quite man, he's quite sensitive and he gets quite hype. Like we saw a lot of during the Manly games. How would he
Mm.
be around with a lot of the island and the Maori brothers and the Warriors? Would he be able to handle it? Would he be able to step up as a leader? Yeah, what do you think his emotions will be like this year, being with the Warriors?
Yeah, I agree. Those are two very good questions because I've thought about that myself. I think moving Tohu Harris to the middle, I think that makes a big difference because he's a lot more mobile. So I think he can be that sort of workhorse middle guy who can help out the bigger guys if they're getting fatigued. And I think that's going to be a lot of his work, a lot of cleanup work, doing that sort of stuff, similar to what Jake Trebojevic does in his career at Manly. I'd like the signing of Adam Fanua Blake as well. You're right, he can be a bit of a firebrand, but the Warriors don't have anyone. They haven't got that forward intimidator. Well, they haven't had for a couple of years someone who can take that role on. So I like the idea of having someone who can do that, and Adam Fanua Blake can do that. Also, what I like about as well is he wanted to come here. He's had off-field issues and all the rest of it in Sydney, and he was desperate to get away from sort of the negative influences he's had in his life. So he wanted to get out of Sydney and come to the Warriors. So I think that augurs well for him. I think he's coming over for the right reasons. A lot of guys have come over here because they don't have any other options, or they're just here because they're getting overpaid and all the rest of it. But he's come over because he wants to, further his career and take his career to that next level. So I'm actually happy for that signing, and I think he's going to go well, away from those negative influences in Sydney. And the guys that we got, you look at some of the forwards, like I talked about Tohu Harris and some of these other guys, they're very professional. So I think that he will, I think he could be a real forward leader for the Warriors, and I think we haven't had that dominant middle forward for a while. So I like him there. But in regards to that's the $1 million question though, is how they're going to handle the speed of the game with their size, because they've got a lot of big guys and they might need someone else to mix it up a bit, which Tohu Harris and maybe Bailey Sirinen or some of these other guys can do.
No, I mean, thanks for that.